as opposed to the Padres and the Chicago Cubs, where they're in the same division as us. But it would be nice to see him dip into that. Maybe in the off season, the Vasquez trade happens to Tampa Bay. We might not love it at first, but there's a chance he knows that farm system better than anybody else in that front office.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It'd be nice to see him kind of dip back into the well. I want to see what kind of moves he's going to make this offseason. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's going to. I mean, we can only go up, right? That's how I look at it.
Absolutely. Yep. You can either stay in last place or you can at least go up a couple spots. Like, you can't do much worse than what we're doing now. I'm wondering. I'll have to look this up and I'll pop back up with it when I find it. But I want to see who the free agent pitchers are going to be this offseason.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a feeling we might be bolstering that bullpen. We actually, another thing, trade deadline day was also salary cap, or not salary cap, but what the hell? What's the word I'm looking for?
Anthony, I'm going to give you time to look that up. We have our wonderful guest calling into the show right now, talking a little Boston Bruins here, knows a thing or two about playing for the Boston Bruins. Unfortunate way to the end this season this year for this current roster, but calling into the show, Mr. Rick Middleton. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Carl. How are you?
I'm doing great. We got Cam and Anthony here who are excited to talk about your time with the Bruins and stuff like that, and thinking about what this current team has been like. But you must be disappointed with this the outcome of this season here, huh?
Well, not as disappointed as they are. I mean, these guys sacrificed a lot to go away into the bubble, not see their families or friends or anything. And you want to go as far as you can. And I always remember the disappointment, whether you lost in the first round or you lost the Stanley Cup. It was never easy. I mean,
could you imagine trying to play? I mean, you played a long career, and to know that what these players have had to do with, have 3 plus months off and then all have to travel up to Toronto to play. Could you imagine trying to play something like that?
It's, most of them are pretty young, and they are all in such great shape. It didn't take many of them that long to get into game shape, although they didn't look all that sharp in the first round. It looked like it took them a couple games to find their game against Carolina. But, when Tuukka left, some guys now we know were playing with injuries. That affects the team. Especially having your number one goalie leave. As you see with the rest of the league, you really need 2 goalies and 2 good goalies if you wanted to go all the way. Look at what happened to Colorado. They went down to their third-string goalie and almost pulled it off, but they just couldn't. So, sometimes you get some puck luck and things go your way, and sometimes they don't. But unfortunately, this year, with having such a great season, to end that way is very disappointing to all of them, I'm sure.
I do think it was tough for Chara to get back up to speed. I think it was really important for him to try to maintain the momentum that he had going, but I think there's just too much time.
But he's a specimen. He works so harder than anybody, even at his age.
Yeah.
And, he'd be probably the first to admit that he's maybe lost a step and he can't play the minutes that he used to. But I'll tell you that he keeps everybody honest out there on the ice. Nobody takes many liberties with him, kind of as the policeman, even still in his 40s. And, he takes up so much room in the defensive zone that he's still effective as far as I'm concerned. It's difficult to get around him, and it's difficult to make a play through him, and he's such a big specimen out there. He blocks a lot of shots. So,
yeah, he certainly offer a lot of experience.
I think he could play another year with the Bruins. I hope he stays a Bruin and finishes his career here, because his number will definitely go in the rafters.
That's what I was going to say, Terry. Not Terry. I'm reading about your former teammates, Terry O'Reilly, Ray Bourque, and stuff like that. Yeah. You had a core group of Bruins players as well that we have been able to watch over the past 10 years with the Krejcis, the Marchands, the Bergerons. Are we going to see all these guys' numbers retired? You're the last Bruin to get your number retired. You might be getting some fellow numbers next to your name.
Yeah, it took 30 years for them to retire my so. And Terry O'Reilly, retired in '85, and they didn't retire his, I don't think, till like 2001 or 2. So there's no rhyme or reason here. I'm just happy that Cam decided, 6-7 years ago to put the number away. I noticed nobody was wearing it, so you always think, well, there's a shot at it. Maybe they'll do it, but you just never know. And when it happened, honestly, it was a total surprise. I didn't expect it at all. But, it's funny, a lot of people, including myself, think Wayne Cashman should be up there.
Really?
But, well, yeah, I mean, if you look at his stats, he's still in the top 10 ever. He was on the original team that won 2 Stanley Cups.
Correct, yeah.
He was the muscle on the big line with Esposito and Hodge all those years, and he was captain of the Bruins when I played. I mean, and it's just the fact that Harry Sinden never did it. It's really up to the president of the GM, the president of the team, and he just never did it. And then after that, it just kind of didn't happen. So, but you can argue about a lot of players, but I don't think Chara and Bergeron would be any arguments from anyone.
Yeah, I think Marchand will be up there too. Speaking of things that took
he's
years.
got a few more years left in his career to really set it.
Yes.
Well, he did break that shorthanded goals record. And speaking of things that took 30 years, so.
I know. I've talked to him since.
I was actually going to bring that up too.
On my retirement night, I said to him, I said, you know what? You could get to 50. You keep going the way you're going. Congratulations. Yeah.
I mean, you played a great two-way play of offensive defenseman type play like we see out of Bergeron, but
not when I started. Don Cherry takes credit for that.
Yeah, Don Cherry obviously was a huge part of your obviously the way that you came up. You